The live today is all about what's your superpower? We don't spend a whole lot of time, us mere mortals, sitting and thinking about what our superpower is. Entrepreneurs are probably closer than the average bear to identifying what our superpowers are. Some of us have created a business to support the superpower or a business where we get to use our superpower. But a lot of times we create a business around what we're good at or what we like doing, which isn't always the same thing. Let me know in the comments if you know what your superpower is. I'll tell you what mine is. My superpower is being able to see a great big giant vision for what is possible for people. That sounds weird, but that I always know what would be an alignment for someone. As a coach, I don't just prescribe it like a doctor's note, although most of my clients wish I would. I do try to let it become everybody's journey on their own, but I do see it. And that is why I am so, I guess, emboldened to come right out and say it, because I feel like it's not really my vision. It's some other vision and I just have it. So it's my job to communicate it and make sure that the people who need to have it get it. So I feel like I'm just like the mailbox. I get the message and somebody's got to come and retrieve it. But that's my superpower. And as a marketer, I don't really use that superpower very often, except for, I when it comes to a marketer is basically just you're changing somebody's behavior. If you are marketing your business, you're asking your potential customers to choose you instead of choosing whatever they're currently choosing to solve their problem. So there is some sort of behavior science that goes into marketing. And I guess if my superpower is being able to see, clearly what is the biggest and best version of a person, I have kind of applied that to like a general target audience of what is the best way to solve a solution, whatever. So I've adopted that intuition into my marketing life, but I'm really, really good at marketing. I'm really good at business development. I'm really good at business execution and strategy planning. It's not really my superpower, but I'm very good at it. Maybe because intuition plays a part in it, but mostly because it's just what I've done for 25 years. And I've honed the skills that make me really good and marketable at being a business development, growth specialist, strategist person. Not my superpower. What I'm good at, but not my superpower. Do you get the difference? What are your superpowers? Let me know. I'm not getting any comments. Either you're being very quiet and polite and waiting for me to stop talking, or or you're thinking about what your superpowers are. So how to discover what your superpowers are. Let's do a little exercise if you don't know. So close your eyes and think about when you were 10 years old and you did something that made you feel so good and so confident and like you contributed positively to a situation. Maybe not 10, but somewhere in that era of your life of when you were, you didn't know that you should keep your superpowers under wraps and you just freely did them and shared them. Did you build forts in the woods? Did you write amazing stories? Did you make people laugh and entertain people? Did you, save animals and comfort them and heal them? What did you do? And you wanted to share something interesting. I asked Jim what he sees as my superpower. He says it's my ability to find creative solutions, to see the end result I want, and to work out a way to get there. Creativity is 100% part of your superpower for sure. And you're very good at creative problem solving. Absolutely. What effect does your creative problem solving have? To what end? The answer to that question is probably your superpower, because you would apply your creative solutions. You wouldn't apply your creative solutions to all end results, I don't think. Maybe yes, maybe no. But yes, you being able to see the creative route around a situation, or to a situation, to a solution, for sure, I would agree with that. Mm-hmm. Is it bringing joy, bringing comfort, empowering, motivating, leading, coaching, all those things? My superpower feels like it is dual. So it's being able to see um, the biggest vision for people, and also empowering them to see it and believe it as well. So, but the empowerment part and the encouraging them to believe it is more honed skill, um, than it is superpower. That innate ability that I have to be able to identify and what their biggest contribution to the world would be. That I feel a bit of divinity involved. Like, I don't know where that came from, and I don't know when I learned it. I just always felt like I could do it. Um, I can see when somebody's in alignment and when they're out, or I can feel it. Actually, that I can feel more than see. But um, then how it manifests in my life, so empowering people and helping them to see it and helping them to actually, like putting a strategy together. Those are own skills that I've developed to be able to bring my gift to the world in a bigger and better way. So they're connected, but they're not the same thing. Does that make sense? So today's lesson is really about connecting with that superpower. And once you've connected with that superpower, really sit with it for a while and understand how it makes you feel. How does that superpower make you feel? Does it make you feel confident or honored or enlightened or blessed or powerful or smart or creative? Like, how does using your superpower and putting it into effect, how does it make you feel? And then I want you to make a list of so first identify what the superpower is, then identify how it makes you feel to use it, and then make a list of all the other ways that you can activate and access that feeling. So if it makes you feel joy, or if it makes you feel, honored or proud or grateful, whatever it makes you feel to be when you use your superpower, then what are the other things that make you access that emotion? The reason it's important to have a list of other things is because sometimes it's hard, because if I don't run into anybody all day, or I don't have a client call, or I don't really have anybody to talk to that I haven't talked to already, that I haven't already identified their what's in alignment for them, or what is their superpower, what they're supposed to be doing, or I'm not working with anyone. Sometimes it's hard for me to just access and go do my superpower every day. You don't always have an opportunity to do that, but you do always have an opportunity to choose moments of inspiration, or moments where you can access that feeling that you have when you use your superpower. And that is that sort of reconnection with that feeling that you have, keeps you in alignment even when you don't get to actually do the doing of your superpower. Am I making any sense to you? You gotta send me an emoji, because I feel like I'm talking around in circles. Liz, yes, I feel like my superpower has to do with loving and healing somehow. Beautiful. Based on the childhood body. Yes, well, it's completely in alignment with what you're doing. And when you think about the vision that you wrote for your business the last time we worked together, loving and healing is is absolutely the energy that's behind that, for sure. That's beautiful. That's awesome. I love that. So good. Oh, and then she got to run, so she didn't even hear me read her comment. Boo. Anyhow, so that's that is basically the exercise for today, is to write out how your superpowers feel. Oh no, there's another part to it. What am I talking about? There's always three parts. Yeah, so how it feels to use your superpower, because, and here's why. When you go through your day, you don't always have a chance to do the superpower. So you want to be able to feel that feeling anyway, because it keeps you in alignment with wherever you're going and what your mission is and what your vision is and all that stuff. It makes decisions a whole lot easier because you have access to that feeling. If you're stuck and you have to make a decision between A or B, and A accesses that feeling or brings you closer to the feeling, then great, then you choose A. If B doesn't give you that feeling, then A is the answer. It just helps. It's like your internal magic 8-ball, right? When you know what alignment feels like, what alignment to your true superpower, when you know what that feels like and you can access it easily, then great, then decisions are easier. But also, you can't always stay in this like super high vibe state. I mean, it would be lovely to be able to, but unless you're the Dalai Lama with like 20 people around you that are protecting the energy that come into the room, I mean, life happens and people come in and they're grumpy, and it kind of, sucks the life out a little bit. And so you kind of get off of alignment sometimes, and it's hard to access back if you've really stepped off of alignment. It's hard to swing back. So it's good to have a list somewhere posted of like, okay, how else can I access that feeling so that I can get back to alignment to my superpower? Sometimes it's easier to just bake some cookies and feel like, oh, yay, I brought joy to my family. I feel nourished and I feel happy and content, and I'm accessing my childhood memories of being safe and loved by eating chocolate chip cookies. Right? So if your superpower makes you feel safe and loved and childlike, then make the cookies and eat the cookie dough before you cook it. Like, whatever. Have actions that you can do immediately at any moment. I mean, baking cookies is not like an any moment thing, but maybe cracking a joke or smiling at a kid on the subway or something will allow you to like activate that childlike feeling that you have, or a child version of the feeling that your superpowers have you feel. Does that make sense? Gosh, I hope I'm making sense. To be honest, I'm not 100% sure what you're getting at. Dan, I love you. 1, what is the superpower? 2, how does using the superpower make you feel? And 3, I'm not sure. Yeah, we're not there yet. So that is why you want the list of how doing the superpower, using your superpower makes you feel, so that you can quickly go back to it even when you don't have the ability to actually put your superpower into play. Okay, so for example, if your superpower was always was being able to entertain people, making people laugh when they're feeling bad, but you have gotten yourself into a funk, and you're on the subway, and you don't know anybody, and you're not going to just jump up and like do a tap dance and make people laugh. I mean, you could totally do that, but most of us aren't going to do that. But you can still activate a smile, activate some joy, by making a funny face to a kid, or cracking a like side-eye joke to the guy beside you, or just giving yourself a good giggle, or whatever that might be that is going to bring some joy to somebody else, and then in turn bring you joy, if that's what your superpower is. For me, it's a little harder to access, but I don't really have to go too far. My life is pretty built around me staying in alignment because I sit here working with clients all day long, for the most part. Otherwise, I read books and I take coaching, meet with my coach, do all kinds of things, and I go connect with nature. Connecting with nature for me really lines me right back up because it's so humbling, and I feel honored that I live where I live and I can just go out and walk in trails. And that feeling of being humbled and honored is the feeling that I have when I get to do my superpower, um, which is great. So there you go. So okay, that's 1 and 2. 3 is how do you hone your superpower. So if there was an Olympics and your superpower was one of the events and you were training for the Olympics of your superpower. So I'm training for the Olympics of being able to help people see what their calling is, or help people find their superpowers. Then how would I train for it every day, every single day? How are you either using your superpowers every day or training, making your skills, honing your skills to be able to bring that to life every single day in your business, in your life as a mom and a wife, or friend, sister, daughter? We don't have any dudes on this, so yeah, girls. How do you bring that superpower to life in everything that you do? This is important as an entrepreneur because we always feel like there's 1,600 different options out there that we could be doing, and we feel like, oh, we should be doing them all. But only 1 or 2 of them is actually going to feel like it is in alignment with where you're trying to go. And where you're trying to go in your business should be exactly the same as where you're trying to go in life, because you really only have one true guide internally. There's only one thing that's going to actually sit well for you. And being a creative problem solver, Deanne, is amazing. If that rings the truest to you and to your heart, then that is your guiding ship. That's the beacon and the lighthouse that you're aiming for. I guess you don't really aim for lighthouses, do you? You kind of aim to avoid them. Anyway, you get what I'm talking about. But that's what you're going toward. And so as you're building out your strategy for the year, and we start Bliss off by talking about vision, mission, and values. Well, that vision is this. It's that vision of your whole life, in alignment with your superpowers, or with your highest self, or whatever version of the woo-woo that you want to go with here. But it comes down to like that inner core, that soul calling. Why are you here? I just heard the answer in my head. Why are you here? Love. That's what I tell my kids when they have these questions. Why am I here? What is my purpose? Love. Oh, who am I? Love. Yeah, it's very annoying for them, but it's true. And someday it'll sink in. However, we all have our own mission and calling, and we have been very, very good at keeping it down and quiet and thinking, oh, that's just woo-woo and that's crazy. And we can't talk about that. But deep down, it's there, and it will make everything else feel right. And when you're in alignment, then all of the have-tos that you have to do for your business, if it's all in alignment, it's easier to do. It feels better. It's also easier to say yes and no. It's easier to not need approval from other people. It's easier to come up with your own answers. It's easier to have your own feelings and let them lead. It's hard to let feelings lead. We're a very logical society. We need a strategy. Well, it's like this program is hilarious. As I'm teaching this mindset thing, and I'm about to teach Bliss, they're like this, it feels like right now. But from a mindset perspective, you can really only focus on one thing. And if that one thing is your ultimate true alignment to your ultimate goal in life, your soul's purpose, as opposed to your business's purpose. If you're focused on your soul purpose, then your business and your life and your relationships and your finances and everything else will be in alignment with you, be in alignment to help you achieve your soul purpose. Because that's just how energy works. I'm not going to get into the science because I don't know it well enough, but there's a bunch of science out there to support the hoo-hoo woo-woo that I'm talking about right now. Deanne, I can almost hear your voice in my head. I still don't get what you're talking about. Oh, 3. Identifying the ways that you can generate the feelings. No, that's part of part 2. That's the reason why part 2 exists. So, part 1, what's your superpower? Part 2, how does your superpower make you feel? And what are all of the other ways that you can access that feeling and generate that feeling and spark it when your bucket's empty? And part 3 is how do you hone your skills that you need to be able to bring your superpower to life. I don't know if Superman had to practice flying, but I'm guessing he had to practice flying once he discovered his superpower. Or, I don't know. Who else has a superpower? The Flash had to practice running and stopping, probably. He had to practice stopping. So he didn't, run right through buildings or fall flat on his face. I'm not sure how that worked. But you get what I'm saying. I'm starting to go Marvel comic here, so stop me, please. Or DC, I don't know which one it is. Deanne, you probably know. Maybe you don't. Oh my gosh. Okay. Right. So we got it. So how are you practicing and honing your superpowers every single day? Bring it. Bring it to every part of your life and bring the feeling with you. How are you bringing that feeling to life every single day? Because it's important to do this. It's important to be aware of it. It's important to not just go, oh my God, Jill, you've really lost it now. Like you're talking around in circles. Follow the bouncing ball on this. What is your soul's purpose, and what are you doing every single day to let your soul know that like you're on it? I got it. Okay, I get it now. I get that this is how you want to feel. I get that this is how you want me to feel. I get that this is what I have to do to make sure that we can feel this way every single day, and that we deliver this, or we serve the universe, or we serve the people in this way every single day. Whether it's bringing, creativity. At the end, creativity is definitely involved in yours. Connecting people to creative play, fun. You guys, you and Jim you have so much fun together all the time. You bring fun and joy into everything that you do. It's a big, huge part of what your spirit is all about. And so there's something in there that your alignment piece is there, for sure. So find it, and then how else can you, if you're not delivering to other people, like your service or your business or whatever, how can you have that feeling that you get when you serve with your superpower? And then how are you going to bring your superpower to life, and what are the skills that you need, and how are you doing that every day, honing your skills every day? It's very, very, very important. It's important because it puts all of the control of your destiny in your hands without you being all controlly about it. Right? We get so obsessed with the check marks and the to-do lists and our strategy. I mean, I'm all about the strategy. Totally. You've been through Bliss, or you haven't, or you've signed up for Bliss, you're excited about it. The strategy is what we're all looking for. We want that list of to-dos, but understanding all of this stuff that we're working on right now and locking this in your gut will give you way less resistance. In fact, no resistance when it gets to actually getting your strategy done and checking off the check boxes. When you go through this whole mindset journey and you lock in all of your alignment pieces, then when you go to develop the strategy and develop all the checklists and the things that we're going to do for the rest of the year, there'll be zero resistance. You might automatically go, okay, Jillian says I need to do this, and this to achieve this goal. Perfect. But you get to number 3 and you're like, I won't. And you stay stuck there all year, trying to get around it and not do it. And there's a big resistance block. But this work that we're going to do leading up to Bliss will unlock all of that. And you won't need me to tell you what the 10 things are that you need to do. You'll know. And you won't have any resistance. And if you don't know, you'll know that when I give you the list, which ones are in alignment and which ones aren't. Okay? There's a purpose for all of this, I promise. Follow the bouncing ball. If you really don't understand and I didn't do a good job of explaining it, I'm so sorry. Please don't sit there in confusion and silence. Let me know. Drop comments in below if you're watching the replay, and replay today is superpowers. Hashtag superpowers if you're on the replay, and let me know what questions you have and what your superpower